Hi guys, Jasmo here, and today I want to share with you 6 additional tips that will help you beat Sanctum. There are lots of different challenges. For some people the challenges are easy, for some are difficult. Some people struggle with certain types of challenges. Some people struggle with certain types of rooms in the Sanctum. So I'm going to try to address a lot of the different things that people struggle with and give you tips, some of them kind of actually unexpected. So let's start with the relics. Relics are the part of the progression. When you start running Sanctum, you're going to be much weaker than when you do it later, and you want to collect different relics for specific challenges. So as you can see, we have a unique relic here that has a challenge. We have a unique relic that has a different challenge where you cannot have boons. So there are many different options and many different ways of running Sanctum, and these relics are going to basically help you lean towards either relying on resolve or relying on inspiration or getting as many coins as you can or making certain other challenges easier. So what I recommend is collect all of them, keep all of them in separate stash tabs if you have extra stash tabs in your regular stash, and in this relic locker only keep the ones that you're actually going to be using, so your best ones, and group them together with the specific theme that you're going for, right? So for example, this relic here is the one where Urias coins are converted to experience upon defeating the Herald of the Scourge, right? There is one that converts the coins to uniques, and there is also one that is actually good one, which converts them to the relics, right? And I actually did a run on stream a couple days ago where I got 23 relics at the end of this, and you can get much more if you get lucky, but the relics that you want for this are going to be different than what you want for other ones, right? But the relics that you want for the gold thing are going to be like mainly the chests. So chests have chance to drop double coins, as well as coins at the start of the Sanctum. So we got a bunch of these here. So as you can see, I got them already pre-prepared in the exact position. We got chests have 8% chance to drop coins at the start, and we've got also coins when you complete a room, and inspiration at the start of each floor, and again inspiration at the start of each floor, recover a resolve when you complete a room. So these two relics are gonna basically make sure that I cannot die, that I can still sacrifice my resolve and do everything I possibly can in order to maximize the gold and be super greedy, and these other ones are gonna give me as much gold as possible. So you want to have a set like this basically for each challenge, and in order to get that, you basically want to run as many of these challenges as you can. Other than that, for your like generic runs, for like what I would recommend to make the Sanctum as easy as possible, and this is for like your generic runs. So if you're just like spam running through Sanctums and you want to make it as easy as possible, or if you're doing the no boon run, for example, which is this one, so cannot have boons but you're gonna get an extra 2 sanctified relics. For those options, for this I would definitely recommend stacking inspiration. So you want to get inspiration when you receive affliction, and chance to avoid affliction, right? Because sometimes you're gonna be like forced to go into a room that you don't want to go whenever you're gonna get afflictions. This is also what I would use for the blind relic, which I'm gonna talk about in a moment, the one that doesn't allow you to see any rooms. This is also what I would use for, because again, you're gonna walk into some afflictions, so you have a chance to avoid them, but also you're gonna gain inspiration every time you get an affliction. Whenever I run these relics, I end up the run with 1,000 inspiration, and usually like very little resolve, because I sacrifice all of my resolve for extra boons if this is not a no boon run. Then we also have bosses take increased damage. This can help you. These types of relics with bosses take increased damage can help you if you want to melt the bosses very quickly. So for example, if you're trying to do a no hit run and you're not sure if you're gonna have enough damage because you might get some affliction that reduces your damage, and you might, I got an affliction that made it so that I have to not use flasks, which will be like half of my damage. So this can definitely help you nuke the bosses quicker. And then you have also inspiration at the start of the Sanctum, resolve when you kill a boss. Additional room revealed is very nice. This one is also an additional inspiration. Additional room revealed is very powerful. This can allow you to avoid dangerous rooms. This can allow you to plan your pathing in advance, as well as figure out, okay, I have a merchant, so I'm not gonna spend the coins now, I'm gonna aim for that merchant later on, and so on. So this is a very powerful relic. And then we also have have again gain inspiration at the start of each floor, super powerful, as well as the inspiration when you receive affliction. If you get one of these and one of these, you're basically set, and then you just fit in whatever other good relics you have. So this is what I recommend for just your basic room if you want to make it easy. For the no boon and for the blind sanctum run, this is what I recommend. Here I have another set which is for the challenge that says that you cannot recover resolve and you cannot have inspiration. For that challenge, which gives you the additional invocation from the end boss, you definitely want to stack maximum resolve and then gain maximum resolve when you use a fountain. Whenever you gain maximum resolve, you actually gain current resolve. Even if you are, let's say, 200 out of 300, if you're gonna get this 29, you're gonna have 229 out of 329 maximum resolve. So whatever maximum resolve you get is actually already filled in. So max resolve, gain max resolve when you use a fountain, gain max resolve when you kill a boss with max resolve as well. You can get bosses take increased damage. You can have chests have extra gold, like just these general beneficial modifiers as well as good. Plus max resolve, max resolve flat. The gain resolve doesn't work. It has to say gain maximum resolve, like here, right? Gain 29 maximum resolve. The gain 20 resolve doesn't work. I'm using this relic just for the plus 30 to maximum resolve. And then we have gain 34 to max resolve when you kill a boss. 18% increase max resolve. When I'm running this challenge with these relics, I often end the run with 1,000 maximum resolve. You just end with just 1,000 maximum resolve. If you're not getting hit much, this is gonna be like way more than you need. Then we have another one, which is just monsters and bosses take increased damage. I use these personally for the Uber, like the Uber Lycia. There is a relic that is this long bong, which basically makes her take 70% less damage, and she does like 100% increased damage or something. And if you want to nuke her, you want to stack these things. So bosses take increased damage, monsters take increased damage. If you stack these, you're going to have much easier time nuking there. You're basically multiplying your damage. And then I have a last set of relics, which I used for the no-hit challenge run. This one has monsters take increased damage so that I can nuke everything quicker. Additional room being revealed. And also the merchant has 2 additional choices. Merchant having additional choices is amazing because it allows you to get the specific things that you need. For example, in the run where you cannot gain inspiration, this is also very useful because lots of the boons give you extra inspiration and few of the boons give you other stuff, and you want the other ones, so you want extra options, so you get like you do more damage, monsters are slower, plus to maximum resolve, things like that. So extra options from the merchant, very powerful. And if you want to focus on that, you could also make for your generic room something like extra options from the merchant plus coins. This will allow you to, for example, purchase relics from the merchant, and that will give you basically more chances for getting relics in your runs. So that's basically it when it comes to the relics themselves. Next, let's talk about the blind challenge and a principle for planning that is actually very useful. Let me actually first fill these. Let's do this challenge just so I can show you the map of this. This is the coin challenge. We're gonna see how much XP we get from this. It doesn't really matter. We can actually, never mind. I don't actually. Okay, fine. Let's do this. We're gonna do this. We approved it. We look at the Sanctum map, and so I can tell you the principle that I'm using a lot of the time. So first of all, if you are planning the run, right? One of the things that people really don't pay enough attention to, and this actually is not very prevalent, but I'm gonna show you, is the number of streets coming out of each room. So even in the blind run, you're gonna see, you're not gonna see the type of the room, you're not gonna see the reward, but you are going to see the purple outline. You're not gonna know what affliction it is, but you're gonna know, okay, there is some kind of affliction here, right? So you're not gonna go here. Like, let's imagine this one had 1 street, this one was the affliction, and this one had 2 streets coming out of it. All things being equal, when you're blind, you always want to go to the one that has more streets coming out of it, right? Also, even in this example, the one on the top is better. Like, can you see why the one on the top is better? The one on the top is better because from here you can end up in these 3 rooms, but from here you can only end up in these 2 rooms, right? So you have 3 options. Like, after you get to here, you're gonna see what's here, and then you're gonna be able to you're gonna be able to go to these 3 rooms, right? Because from these 2 you can get into these 3, but from this one you're only getting into these 2 rooms, and this one has 1 street. So this route is like strictly worse, right? So there is actually a lot of like it's such a huge impact that people really underestimate. Like people like watch me run, and sometimes, yes, sometimes I'll have a bad RNG run. It happens to everybody, but I have like very, very, very few bad RNG runs. Most of the time I don't get bad afflictions, I get good rewards. I don't get stuck with something that I cannot complete because I simply give myself more options, right? If you, every single time, if you pay attention to this and you give yourself like 2 options instead of 1, or 3 options instead of 2, it's a massive difference. It's like 50% or 33% increase in like your chances at getting good rooms and avoiding bad rooms, which is absolutely massive. So this is a principle of like having more routes and more options coming out of the rooms that you're pathing to is a very, very important part of Sanctum that people really underestimate. So that's what I definitely recommend. So even when you are running blind, even when the rooms are covered, you don't see anything, you don't see the rewards, you don't see what afflictions there are and so on, you still apply this principle to make sure that you have most options. Because if I go here, if I end up in this room, right, and this is an affliction, I have no choice now, right? Like if, let's say I enter here, and even if I saw 2 rooms ahead, if these 2 are an affliction, I have no choice. But if I go here and these 2 are an affliction, okay, I still have this choice, right? So I give myself more options to avoid afflictions and to pass toward good stuff. So thirdly, let's talk about the room types. A lot of the time, people don't really pay too much attention for room types, or they use the cheat sheet, right? So they go and check out this cheat sheet which says, okay, defeat the guards or arena or mini boss, and that's all they know. I think that's not enough. I think you should actually learn every single room, what every single room is. Like for example, like I don't care if it's like kill the guards or exit the room. That doesn't really matter, right? Like you're gonna kill all the guards anyway if you want to collect the coins, and if your build is good, like if you're not doing the no-hit challenge, then you're gonna just quickly zoom through it anyway. But the important part is like, is it actually a difficult room? Is it easy room? How comfortable are you with it? Is it gonna have traps? Like all of these things, right? Is it a risky room? Is it not a risky room? And if you don't know that, like for example, the Templar Annals is like the arena with the like walls, right? With like the 2 little corner walls that you can like hide behind. So this is different than, for example, Battleground, which is an open arena. To me, there is only like 1 dangerous room in the whole Sanctum, pretty much, and that room is the Desecrated Crypts on floor 4, which is this like laser on the bottom and like a half circle arena where you have to go like constantly around it. You're constantly exposed to monsters, so if you don't have a build that does a lot of damage and that is lingering, that might be a very problematic arena. Usually it's not difficult, but it's difficult if you get like turbo or something. Other rooms when you get turbo are fine, but that room when you get turbo, because skulls are bugged and they're considered traps and monsters in some cases, it's like bad coding on that. I reported this bug, they're never gonna fix it probably. Desecrated Crypts is a dangerous one, so I like to avoid that one, and I know that this is this specific one, right? That is the arena. Some people really don't like the entombment, right? Because for them the entombment is very dangerous, but I'll give you a tips for entombment to make this room actually like one of the easiest rooms in the entire Sanctum. So if you want to learn the rooms, what I recommend doing is you enter the room, and when you see the room and you're like, oh, that's an easy room, let's see what it is. You go back, you press your Sanctum thing, you look at the room. Oh, because you can look backwards, right? You can look at the room that you just entered. You can see what's the name of the room. So you can see, okay, I'm in Chambers of Inscription. That's how it works. All right. So I definitely recommend checking out the rooms after you enter the room. If it's dangerous and you want to avoid it in the future, open your map, look at the room, see what it is, and that's how you're gonna learn over time which room is which and which ones to avoid. Some rooms are just not important to remember. It's just, okay, this is easy, whatever. I don't remember which exact this is. Do you kill the guards? Do you exit and just look for the exit? Doesn't matter. If it's easy room, it's easy room. That's the important part to remember. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the Accursed Pacts. Accursed Pacts are very tricky. There are some things with them that people are still not sure about, and I'm still not sure about, because I think there were bugs that actually killed people with them, but now they're not. I recently tested using the Accursed Pacts with having only one resolve. So I had resolve and some inspiration, and I used the lose 25 resolve and lose 50% resolve, and none of those actually did anything to me. I just was able to use these pacts successfully and get the rewards and didn't die. But I've seen pictures of people actually who died with having the one resolve and the inspiration, and they used these options and they died. So probably that was something in the past that has been fixed now. I tested this yesterday, and I was able to, or 2 days ago, and I was able to basically use these pacts to my advantage, even if I had one resolve. So this is what I do in most runs. If I can have inspiration, I rely on my inspiration. Even if I have like 50 inspiration, if I have 100 inspiration, let's say, I'm still gonna sacrifice basically all of my resolve to get the boons, to get the benefits, because it can like double my rewards. It could give me like some really, really good stuff. So use your resolve in these pacts as a resource, and try to conserve it as well. If it's like a shitty pact and gives you like a boon that you don't need and you're gonna sacrifice all of your resolve, don't do it. Leave it for something that's actually gonna be beneficial to you. That's gonna be like 3 minor boons or a major boon for 50% of your resolve, and so on. The next thing about the pacts is that they can contain rewards. So as you can see, if you hover over like Chambers of Inscription here, I can see offers items on completion. Pacts also offer items on completion, but you have to take the pact. You can skip the pact and just exit the room and move on, but if you pick the pact, then you can see the rewards. And very often on floor number 3 and number 4, I'm going to prioritize them. The reason is divines are pretty rare, and if you don't see any divines, and if you can afford it, I definitely recommend prioritizing the pacts, because they can hide divines. On floor 3 and on floor 4, I have gotten divines from the pacts multiple times. I would say it's like maybe like 1 in 10 or something like that, where you get the divines, maybe a little bit more often, but like in general, you want to aim for them if you don't see any divines and you're trying to maximize the rewards. If you're not trying to maximize the rewards, if you're just trying to survive, then of course pick whatever gives you the highest chance of survival. But if you're trying to maximize rewards, definitely always take a look at the pacts, and if there is no divines or nothing else super juicy on the rewards, like I would, for example, prioritize pacts over exalts. Instead of getting like 1 exalt, I would prioritize a pact. Because the chance for divine is higher than the number of exalts. Like basically, you want to look at it. If the chance for divines is like 1, if the chance for 1 divine is 1 in 10, then you're looking for like 1/10 of a divine still being a worse deal, right, than the divines. So that's how I basically prioritize that. So the next tip that I'm gonna give you is how to deal with these entombment rooms, how to deal with these trap rooms, how to deal with these like pesky fireballs that are difficult to avoid. And the number 1 tip I can give you is to use totems. Even if you are not playing a totem build, the very easy solution if you're not playing a totem build is to actually use a phantasmal searing bond. Phantasmal searing bond will give you 4 totems for 1 socket and can be used on any build to trivialize rooms like entombment, which with the totem tech become very, very easy. You basically can place the totems to block the balls. You can place them right on the point where they spawn. They're gonna just automatically explode and not move forward, and the totems cannot die. The balls do resolve damage. They don't actually kill the totems. Totems don't have resolve, so you don't have to worry about that as long as the totem duration is staying. So they can expire, of course, right? And they can just go down underground and the ball flies and kills you. So you need to be mindful of the duration of your totems that you have. But you can totally use them to block the balls on both sides. I've used this in my no-hit run. I've used this in many different runs if I wanted to make sure that I'm not taking any damage, and it's making it super, super safe. Another option that you can also use is, I've seen people use frost wall tech with phasing. You can use just a giant wall of frost and just block everything and pass through that with phasing. That's another tech you can use. So definitely at least use the Searing Bond Totem. Phantasmal Searing Bond Totem will give you 4 totems that you can easily get from just 1 socket and block everything very, very easily. And the last tip I'm gonna give you is kind of a pay to win feature that actually exists. Well, it's not exactly pay to win. It's a very, very minor advantage, but it is an advantage that you get especially in a no-hit run. I'm gonna enter this Sanctum and I'm gonna actually show you this in these Chambers of Inscription. So you can see that I have this empty Exon Tormentor body armor, which comes from the supporter pack. The supporter packs are amazing, by the way, but this has a small advantage of the souls from defeated enemies are absorbed as you gain flask charges. So if you're killing something that can grant you flask charges, you're gonna see the soul of it flying to you, which means you're gonna be basically notified when you kill the enemy. You could have your mouse hovered here and just look for the numbers change, and if the numbers change, that means you killed something, right? That can grant you flask charges. But this is just much easier to see visually, right? So you can see I'm gonna put the totems, they shoot something, and I see the souls flying to me, right? So I know they shot it. So sometimes you have monsters and guards that are gonna like actually escape from you, and you're not gonna know if they died or not. See, like now I see, okay, this guy didn't die. I can put the totems closer, and then when he dies, I see the soul flying to me, and it's making this a little bit safer, right? It's making me see when the enemies actually die, and I can very, very easily see that. But I can also just like hover over this and see the numbers change, right? But yeah, so that's basically why is my RF going? Did I not turn on my vitality or something? Yeah, I didn't turn on my vitality. All right. So that's basically it. Those are the 6 tips that I can share with you. If you have any other tips that I didn't mention, you can post them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.